morning. Welcome to another Motovlog, and this is going to be, I guess, more relative or a continuation of my other motovlogs talking about business. Today's motovlog is about when companies designate employees as non-billable. It's not smart. I understand why they do it, but nowadays it seems like a lot of companies are using it the wrong way or interpreting it the wrong way. So let me explain what a non-billable employee is versus a billable employee. I work for a company that did some field service, but the company also had non-field service entities. So when I work field service, the field service inspector, employee, operator was what they called a billable employee because they billed the customer directly, kind of like a plumber, right? So if you have a plumbing company, your plumber that goes to the customer's house to fix something is considered a billable employee. They're the ones that you charge the customer $200 an hour to do whatever, and the employees back at the office that do all the admin work, they are considered non-billable, because if the billable employee doesn't go to a customer's house to fix something, you don't get paid, right? There's nobody to bill. So that's the simple version of what a non-billable and billable is. The problem is, if you don't have the non-billable employee, your business doesn't work well either, unless you expect that billable employee to do what the non-billable employee does, right? So for example, a non-billable employee would be a receptionist at the office, or say a record keeper, or, you know, as far as like even say a custodian that keeps the office clean. And that's where it kind of goes downhill with billable or non-billable ideology. So when times are good, you can hire more non-billable employees to do extra things at your facility, like taking care of the yard, cleaning windows, right? Cleaning your company vehicles. But then when times get hard, the first people to let go are the non-billable people, right? So you let the groundskeeper go. you let the custodian go, because they're non-billable. Your customers don't see, for the most part, don't see the work that those people do. But your customers do see them when they come to your facility, and your landscaping looks good, the floors in your office look clean, the windows are not dirty and dusty. You know, it bumps up your reputation. But when times are tough, right, that kind of goes out the door, literally. But the same designated, the same employees who are the same designation of employees as non-billable are the record keepers and the receptionists. Now, granted, depending on what business you have, the receptionist might not need to be employed. You go with the voicemail, right? You call in, press 1 if you want to talk to sales, press 2 if you want to talk to engineering, press 3, right? So you have the automated phone system. And then, of course, if any one of those people you want to talk to aren't there, you got to leave a voicemail. But if you had a receptionist, the receptionist can give you information. Oh, that person is in a meeting, they'll call you back, and then you can leave a message. You can let the customer know, oh, you know, yeah, this is why that person. But then if it just goes to voicemail and you leave a voicemail, you don't know if that person even works there anymore. Or like I've tried to call companies where it has that, you know, the mailbox. If you want to talk to this person, press this button, and then you go to their voicemail, and either the voicemail doesn't work, or you leave a voicemail, and then you don't ever hear back, and then you keep calling and calling, and then that person calls you back and is like, oh, sorry, our phone system sucks, that went to somebody else. So that's the downside of not having the receptionist, the non-billable receptionist. So the problem of designating non-billable and billable is that on paper, every non-billable person is not a necessary person. So to me, if you're going to designate somebody as non-billable, why even hire them? Why even have a non-billable employee? Right? If you're going to lay off non-billable employees when times get tough and implement things that that can kind of do the work those non-billable people do, why even have them? Just start. Yeah, of course this is a joke. Sarcasm. Why even have non-billable employees if you don't think that they're non-essential? So this goes to the companies that I work for that designated employees billable and non-billable, and they laid off people that were designated non-billable, and they ended up having to rehire a bunch of people because they didn't understand that those non-billable people were still important. A non-billable person does not mean, a non-billable employee does not mean that employee is not important to the business. So, you know, there is a reason why they are designated, but the problem is oftentimes executive management interprets non-billable as non-important. And that doesn't end well for that company when they consider non-billable people unimportant and then lay them off. So that's my observation on that ideology. So if you work for a company that has billable, non-billable employee designations, and you're labeled as non-billable, you might want to look for another job. I get it, you know, if the company's stable, your job is safe, but if you start recognizing, seeing the handwriting on the wall, so to speak, you being designated non-billable, the bean counters will consider you unimportant, and you might want to look for another job. It's sad but true. But sorry sorry it was a negative connotation video, but it has to be taught, it has to be distributed out there so people know, right? Not everything is looking through rose-colored glasses is true. I hope everybody has a good week, and if you're able to ride like the wind. elevator.